Well, let's get into BYU basketball right here on the Monty Show. Now, BYU, I wouldn't say decisively, went down to the Koresh country and beat Baylor. It is a win that BYU needed.
Minutes parade.
It ends the losing streak. It ends the streak of ups and downs for AJ. But let's make something very clear. BYU can't guard me. BYU defensively is, I don't know how you explain it. They're terrible.
We keeping a buck right now. We ass.
They're terrible. And I think as we go through the rest of February and we get into tournament season, this is becoming abundantly clear. BYU has a KY problem. And all jokes aside, it's not, their KY problem is not going to be solved by heading over to CVS. Okay. See what Pokemon.
I want that known.
Yeah, Pokemon. Okay. The point is
the biggest load that we've seen.
Yeah, I think Kevin Young is getting outclassed, and the improvements are not there. And I go to this. He said some things this week. Like, listen to him talk right here.
And I'm not a moral victory guy. I never have been. We should have beat Houston, shoulda, woulda, coulda against all these other teams. I shouldn't say should have. We could have, right? They beat us. Let me be very clear. But again, I'm not a moral victory guy, but I'm also a realist. I think if you talk about UConn, Arizona, Houston, and arguably Texas Tech, I think any one of those teams could win the national championship this year. And so the fact that we've given ourselves a chance to beat all those teams. For me, we're not there yet. We're still pounding a rock, and that thing's going to break eventually, and that's kind of what I'm.
That's cool. You're pounding the rock. Not all of those teams are national championship material. And then I think we listen to KY, and we are starting to figure out that Buddy didn't know what he was getting into.
Super loud in these arenas. When I first got into college, I could not fathom that someone would write their plays on a whiteboard and show the players. I thought it was silly, but I see why people do it now because it's so darn loud in these arenas. So I think that actually, it sounds silly to bring that up, but that does factor into it, even at home, honestly. But I just think it makes for fun environments. I think even the away team at times kind of feeds off of it. Like, I don't know if it's like an intimidation thing. I don't know. It just makes for like a great college basketball atmosphere for me.
I like Kevin Young. He's going to be a good coach. But I am telling you, he is as much to blame for BYU losing games as AJ Dybantsa is. There's just no question about that. And they win last night. And again, I just ask, did somebody kick your puppy 5 minutes before you sat up here and said this? Where's the enthusiasm?
Never know in the Big 12. Every game's hard. Every team has good players and good coaching and good atmosphere. So I'll have to look at the film to see exactly what happened. I thought they made a little run. I thought, Richie probably doesn't pull the trigger on that last three in the corner, and we win by 10 or 12 and the game's over, right? So give them credit for extending the game at the end. But I love the fact that, our guys showed resiliency on the road when it feels, things have been tough sledding for us. And so to have that kind of poise on the road against it, and unfortunately for us, it feels like every night someone's having a career night. But Yesufu was incredible. He got going. And like I said, for our guys to be able to withstand that and just have the determination to just flat out get a win, I'm proud of them for that.
Or you could play defense. And learn what it is to talk in monotone. You every night somebody's having a career night because you guys don't defend.
Right.
That's why they're having career nights. That's why Arizona couldn't miss from three. Like, I don't I don't think that Kevin Young's a bad coach. I think he's young and he's very inexperienced, and BYU basketball is paying a price for that. And I think again, this was a really important win for BYU. This was a really important win. Baylor's not very good. Baylor's not very good. They're in a down cycle, and I think it just is what it is right now. BYU is on the fringe of a tournament team. And you're looking at a year in the Big 12. Texas Tech is not having a good year. Baylor's not having a good year. BYU's not having a good year. I mean, again, Utah got their necks stomped on last night. It just is what it is right now. But if we're talking specifically about BYU, the expectations were through the roof, and BYU just simply has not met expectations, especially on defense. It is a systematic detail issue defensively. They don't communicate. They don't rotate. They're terrible in zone, in my opinion. You should, if you're going to get beat in man, okay, cool. Please stop playing zone defense at BYU.
Yeah, well,
it's tough to watch.
Going to zone defense speaks to the mindset that Kevin Young was in. And that's why I said, I brought up the Kevin Young issue all the way back to the Texas Tech game when we did our show, January 20th following that game, because you played him on a Saturday. And it goes all the way back to that game for me. I mean, I think every single night there are adjustments, there are opportunities, and my first issue, or my first gripe was, how you handle AJ when he's having his bad night. How you handle this team when you're not getting 36 again from AJ. And I see everyone on Twitter talking about, well, AJ's a top 2 pick. This kid's incredible, man. What a great player. And yeah, he's a phenomenal talent. Like I've said all season long, the guy's got a great build. He's clearly got a game that translates to the NBA. But that doesn't mean that you're a great team. And the great teams are defined by what they do on their off nights, not on what they do versus teams like Baylor who aren't having a great year in a game that you had to have that got a lot closer than it should have got. And so for me, it's like, yeah, you did a good job winning this game. You stopped the bleeding. You got the win you needed to get. And that's great. Obviously that's what you want to do. But my main issue with this squad, whether it's Kevin Young or AJ Dybantsa or anyone else on that team, is the mentality piece. It is what plagues this basketball team, and it is why they are not good defensively. It is the core issue of great defensive teams play with a chip on their shoulder. They are looking to suffocate you defensively and generate their offense off of that. This team does not do that. This team tries to get cute defensively and winds up fouling way too much and winds up putting the opposition at the line way too much. And then they go down on offense and try to make up for that lack of intensity defensively. And that's why you see a lot of up and down performances out of AJ Dybantsa and this team, because depending on the situation that they're in, defenses don't have to play tough defense against him.
Correct.
Right? Like if he's not shooting well, you're not going to play tight defense against AJ Dybantsa. You're going to sag off of him, and you're going to take everybody else away and let him keep shooting what he's shooting, and that's why I say, like, it's not to say that they suck, because they don't suck. They're a solid team, but I would agree that this team is nowhere near what the preseason hype had them being. This team is nowhere near an Elite Eight team or like a deep tournament run team. Like, they're going to have to, in my opinion, if you want to take this team and you want to go on a deep run, you need to change the messaging. Stop talking like it drives me nuts that young head coaches talk about all these different factors, arena noise and fans, and like we never got to the Oklahoma State F the Mormons thing. This is not the first time we've heard this happen. That doesn't make it right, but it's not the first time this has happened. And as BYU's head coach, you need to expect that that's going to happen to you, and you need to be able to handle that and show up and lead your guys through that to try to get a victory.
Yes.
Not give up 99 to Oklahoma State because you guys just couldn't show up and it just wasn't your best performance that night. that's my problem with this team is I just think it's a mentality intangible thing that bleeds into the X's and O's that winds up costing you games that frankly you should win. Like you should have beaten Oklahoma State. You should have been in that Texas Tech game way more than you were. Like the Kansas game, dude. Like, bro, what was the Kansas game? The Kansas game was they came out and punched you in the mouth and let off the gas and you got back in it and then they put you away. Like that's my main thing. And I think that Kevin Young 3 years from now is probably going to be a prolific college basketball coach with his ability to recruit and the lessons he's learning this year. And when he finally gets a team that doesn't have a star on it, but has a bunch of just really solid players that he's got to get to work together, that's when you're going to see Kevin Young excel. But I as soon as the Texas Tech thing had happened several weeks ago, I was like, yeah, maybe this team isn't quite, who we thought they were.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. I don't pretend to be I don't pretend to be the biggest BYU basketball fan. Hell, bro, my heels got boot stomped last night. So but I think it's very interesting. AJ actually played well. BYU won this game because AJ played well and they dominated in the paint because they couldn't hit water from a boat from three. I think they shot 16% from three last night. Like they won this game because they dominated the paint. And I think it is, I think it's one of those things where you have to find a way. You have to find a way to get AJ Dybantsa going every single night. And I'm really hoping, and this to my point, and I know what time is it? It's 5 a.m. So we're very early to be deep thinking.
The victory has already been won.
What I would tell you is when AJ attacks, this is a much better team. Everybody else gets theirs. Everybody else gets going at a much, higher clip. So I think that AJ Dybantsa has to be the motor of this team. And a lot of times he's not. And I think that, you look at people like Rob Wright last night with 30 points. Obviously, this was a mission game for Rob Wright. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't think there's any doubt about it. AJ talked about that after the game.
Came in because I wanted to get Rob to win. Just like we got, the win for Caba and Richie down there in Utah and at home. It was kind of just the same thing, coming with a little extra oomph when, guys coming from old schools, but.
And I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think AJ is a really good teammate. Just for the record, like it's clear that his guys like him. He likes playing for this team. Like it's not that they have issues that way. It's just for me. I just Dybantsa is very young, right? Like I don't even disagree that the guy's going to go top 3 in the NBA draft. I don't disagree with that. Should he stay and develop? Is that what I would do if I were him? It's hard to say. I mean, I think the money quotient is a powerful thing, man, and I think that most guys who are at AJ's level in their development, where they're able to drop 36 in a college basketball game on a semi-regular basis, probably want the NBA lifestyle and probably willing to take a flyer and say, hey, I can go and develop at the NBA level. Okay, yes. I get that.
Yes.
But I guess and this is what I was talking about yesterday a little bit. Like, I feel like because it's a one and done thing and the money is so in their face, they can't see the value, or maybe they don't prioritize that value of like, hey, I want to win a national championship at the college level. That's just not how guys operate anymore. So the reason I bring that up is when you look at BYU's problems and their, just quite frankly, their lack of intensity in some of these games, part of that is because AJ can already see what's next. Part of that is that some of these guys, these seniors are like, you're looking at Richie Saunders, like that dude's trying to figure out where he's going to play next year. You know what I mean? Like guys like him and other guys who maybe aren't star players are also trying to figure that part out. So I just think that Kevin Young's got to get these guys to buy in. And I'm surprised that the system isn't AJ attacks. Like if I was Kevin Young, I'd be like, dude, get into the paint and make a quick decision. Go finish and get fouled or kick the ball. That would be my primary objective. I'm going to set
But
screens.
I think that the problem with that is that's all cool and stuff. He's one of the best players in the country when he's one of the best players in the country. The problem is I feel like the better teams that AJ faces, he doesn't have the ability to do those things you're talking about. Because I think they double and they take the ball out of his hands. And this is the defensive issue. Last night is one of the few games this year where BYU is dominating the paint. And we've talked about, hey, is this a team? And how long have I been telling you this about BYU? This isn't a team that is, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the country because they don't defend like that. You got to January and AJ Dybantsa was going crazy against mediocre teams. Right? And I like AJ. I completely disagree with you. AJ Dybantsa needs to come back to school. It's not a conversation. You want long-term money? You want to be the number 1 pick in the draft? Come back to BYU next year. Come back to BYU next year, because you need to beat the Kansases. Did you guys see Iowa State goes down last night in Fort Worth? TCU knocked off Iowa State. Like, he needs to come back to school. And the hard part for BYU is, and I think Richie Saunders is a great player. When he is not hot, they do not win. Those Richie Saunders threes, I mean, hell, Kevin Young talked about it. Richie doesn't pull the trigger on that ball in the corner. Now it's a closer game. And that's like Rob Wright needs to put up 30 every night, but he's not that caliber of player. Right? To be a 20-point-a-night guy would be game-changing. This team just is not here. They're not an elite team. And AJ Dybantsa, my biggest fear is AJ Dybantsa is going to be the number 2 pick in this draft. And I just think that if he goes to the NBA now, he is going to be a bench guy for 2.5, 3 years. He will have to do something on his own to make it click because his game, it's just not there. He needs a summer working with Chris Brickley or pick your skills coach. He needs a summer of that, and then he needs another year of college basketball. I think it's incredibly important. He is not Cooper Flagg. He has not been Cooper Flaggy at no point. Like I see all the BYU fans saying he's as good as Cooper Flagg was last year. No, he is not. No, AJ Dybantsa ain't that guy. And the real issue is now, I think Darren Peterson at Kansas has done so much damage to himself that AJ's got a chance. If he goes on a tournament run through the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament and they win a bunch of games and maybe they knock off a Kansas or an Iowa State or an Arizona and maybe they have the opportunity to do that. Okay, maybe that rehabs him. But I can tell you, I know plenty of basketball guys who don't view AJ Dybantsa as an NBA-ready player. And he's not, like, you look at the impact that Cooper Flagg is having, it's because the skill set was built and developed at Duke.
And then what did he get? Bro showed up at the NBA when he got drafted by the Mavericks and got to team up with Kyrie, and Kyrie took him under his wing. So he got the development pre-draft and in college at Duke. He then got the Team USA select camp time. And now he's gotten drafted by a team that has a guy like Kyrie who can help him. I mean, you can see the stages of development happening. And I guess...
And Jason Kidd's his head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's no slouch at developing guys. He's got a long track record of developing guys. So
again, just look at what Cooper Flagg does well. He's got great handles. He's got great moves now. He's a really good finisher.
Yeah, but his instincts are what, in my opinion, has taken the biggest strides. He is able. The game is not too fast for him. Even when he's pressured, go watch his film, dude. Go watch his film on YouTube, and you can see even when defenses, poke the ball away from him, or maybe it's in doubt for a moment, he gets the ball back. He's calm. He's collected. Knows how much time's on the shot clock.
Which he wasn't in October and November.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not only has there been massive development for his game up to this point, but it's actively happening while he's playing because of who's on that roster and that coaching staff. And so long story short, my hope for AJ is that he gets drafted by a team where he can go in there and that team's got a veteran who can say, look, man, you have the opportunity. You have the talent to go and compete for a rookie of the year type season. You have that talent within you, but we need to put the work in. We need to improve these other areas of your game. Because one of my favorite things about AJ's game is his appreciation for like the elbow jumper or like the wing jumper. Like he likes shooting that shot. He can also jump out of the gym, dude. He's got that above the rim ability as well. So he's a good player, but I certainly would not be drafting him top 2. I think that is a hype projection. I think that it's like, oh, look at all these highlights. This guy's amazing. But when you get into it, he's a top 10 pick in my opinion, but I would much rather pick him like 7, 8, 9 than 1, 2, or 3. And I only say that based on what we've seen.
Yeah, I think if he ends up, I think the Kings will probably be, and this is why we got to get into this NBA tanking thing here in a minute, but
people are pissed, dude.
Well, I mean, AJ Dybantsa or Cameron Boozer. I think probably at the end of the day, Cameron Boozer's numbers are significantly better than AJ's, and he's doing it at Duke. I just think I'm probably going Cameron Boozer. The guy that I think is the biggest question is Kingston Flemings. Like, do you? I think AJ has a much larger upside than Kingston Flemings, and I don't know. I look at a guy like I don't even know who would be close. I mean,
which is also helping AJ.
Nate Ament, yeah, Tennessee. Another guy, I just look at some of these other dudes. I don't think this is a terribly deep draft. I think this comes down to Boozer, Dybantsa. I think Darren Peterson is going number 1. I don't think there's any doubt about. I don't even know how he wouldn't go number 1 at this point. I mean, he is so dominant, and I just think that if he's going to shoot 40% from 3 the rest of the year, that's the most appealing thing, I think, and he's a great finisher. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Dick Hammer, good morning to you, sir. Always a pleasure to see you. And I go back to this Giggity comment because I think that's probably true. If he comes back to college, does he stay at BYU? Well, that's not a given anymore. That's not a given anymore. I mean, I would think he would because their recruiting class next year is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, but that's not an AJ problem. That's a BYU problem.
No, I think if AJ comes back to college, he wouldn't leave BYU. There would be there's no math that says he would leave BYU. They have the money. The recruiting class is really strong, so they're going to be better. I just don't know why you wouldn't. Yes, Brett Yormark is making everybody's telling me it's a Big 12 basketball announcement. So we'll see what it is. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm happy TCU pulled off that upset. Go Frogs. Well, as a TCU fan, I would think you would be.
Why are you commenting this comment from your Chaplin account? Like, why wouldn't you do this on your TCU account?
Jake. He's Pastor James White. His life's work is
fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
That's not very nice, Jake. Wow.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Curious what Dybantsa NIL would be if he comes back. He'd probably be mid 7 figures. Easy.
A lot.
I mean, I don't have any doubt about that. At least Dybantsa plays. No, I don't disagree with you. Listen, I'm not sitting here telling you AJ Dybantsa is a bad basketball player. I am not saying that. What I am telling you is he's not ready to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
He's not ready to step into it. The problem for AJ Dybantsa versus Darren Peterson can play in the NBA today right now. He's got the skills. He's got the handle. He's got the shot. He's got the finishing package. Just ask Jake, who knows all about finishing packages. Like he's got, he can really put it in the hole, and KY just hasn't helped AJ do that yet.
Your third leg was just phenomenal.
Nothing? Okay.
Bro, no appreciation for the third leg drop that I just casually rolled in here with yesterday. Like nobody in the comment section.
Oh boy.
Nobody.
Oh boy. Here we go with Jake versus James White. Jake, you a little crabby today?
No, not any more crabby than I was on Monday when I absolutely flamed the Super Bowl. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, I hate when my finger slips too. Brutal. Jake's going to HE double hockey sticks for treating Pastor James White this badly. I mean, it's probably going to happen.
This is just a really sad state of affairs.
And also, congratulations to Jake. Jake had a very monumental moment yesterday, you guys. I almost forgot to bring this up. I'm proud of my little boy. He recorded his first cameo yesterday.
You fucking donkey.
He recorded his first we got our first cameo yesterday.
Cameos, dude, I did it.
$10.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
$10. Jake sent a happy birthday wish to Maury Alvarez, unsurprisingly, as our first cameo. Yep. And Jake sent the cameo video yesterday and wishing little Camilla a happy birthday.
Yes.
She's going to be 37 apparently in next December. Camilla's 10th birthday is coming up, so just really good times.
Yeah. I mean, listen, dude, let's go, bro. Let's go.
I mean, really good times.
Grind. Get on the cameo grind, man. Happy to do it.
Yeah. Find us on Cameo. It was actually really fun to see that. So our cameos are only $10. You need us if you want to know our opinion on something and you want it just customized for you, send a cameo with a sports take request. Happy to do it.
Yes.
Happy to do it. You want us to record a voicemail for you? Send a request. $10. We'll record your voicemail for you. We do all these things.
Yes.
We do all these things. Find us on Cameo. The Monty Show on Cameo. Jake popped his Cameo cherry. Yes, he did.
I just want to thank you all.
It's a proud man moment.
Right.
Yeah. The chosen chaplain, James White. Jake's a good dude. He just needs a pick-me-up. Why does he need to pick you up?
Yeah, what do you mean, dude?
You guys have a date scheduled? Didn't tell me about, Jake? You guys back on the WhatsApp porn chat? What's going on here?
Yeah, what are we doing here, bro? Like, what do you mean I need a pick me up, dude?
Well, this is a surprise. Jake is pregnant.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I just don't think that that's accurate.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
We need a Pastor James White cameo where we can request blessings for our teams so they can win. I don't disagree with that. Cameo's been fun. Honestly, Cameo, we've had some fun with it now.
You are not the guy.
Get on the Cameo app, send us a request, $10.
You need me to make a video for you to send to a girl telling her you're not the father. I'm happy to do it, dude. Just $10. That's it. It's that easy. Matt
Muldoon, is James telling Jake he needs a bump? Yeah. Does Jake need to do a rail on the toilet seat, or what are we talking about?
Stupid ass question.
You look tired, Jake. Bro, you get up at 3:45 and see what it does to you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you have no idea, bro. You have no idea, dude. And let me preface this too. Get up at 3:45. And then be productive at 5 a.m. and then come back to me and tell me that you don't look tired.
That's what I'm saying.
Like get up at 3:45, be productive at 5, then go and kick the absolute hell out of everybody in your job for 8 hours a day or whatever. And then tell me you don't look tired, dude. And then, by the way, get back on the grind right about 7 o'clock so that you can get back up at 3:45 again.
Oh, by the way.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Which is, listen, it's totally fine. I think it is. I think it's one of those things where, I feel like we as U.S. Americans, Marcus is telling me Twitter is doing something funny. Your video is not on your timeline. I had to go and click the live button on your profile. If I don't have enough hours in the day to figure out what the old X machine is doing. I really don't. I have no idea.
Speaking of Twitter machinations, did you see yesterday Greg Wrubell out himself as a pro MAGA person and get absolutely flamed for it?
No, what happened?
So
did he really?
Well, he didn't explicitly say he was, but he had a take on the I can't remember what sport the Olympian was a part of. I can't remember. But you had an Olympian talking about that it was more difficult to represent the country right now based on what had gone on in Minnesota and like just some of the issues that we were facing as a country.
Yep.
And Greg went on a full paragraph thing about how you're representing your country, like you're making it about you and it ain't about you, it's about our country. And like, and people retweeted him and like he caught a bunch of flack for that. To which I say, why would you ever delve into that if you're Greg Wrubell? Is it not
Greg Wrubell, who is the voice of BYU sports?
Yeah, and very good at what he does, by the way.
Excellent. One of the best in the country.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Greg Wrubell guy. I'm a big fan. I did not know he was pro MAGA. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think, excuse me, that's what's happened at the Olympics now, though. And I'm serious about this conversation. I know this is, people get upset when we delve into anything that is remotely political, but I love all of these shut up and dribble people who are like, just go snowboard. Don't get on the team if you don't. What happened to the First Amendment? Do you understand that these athletes have the biggest stage on the planet right now? They're being asked questions. Are they supposed to say nothing? When they're asked a question, they're supposed to say nothing.
The biggest opportunity of their life to speak. They're supposed to say nothing.
The guy is from Minnesota that they are talking about. This dude is from Minnesota, and he was asked about it. And so he said, it's heartbreaking what's going on at home. We've been through some very tough times. And he said something to the effect of, it's heartening to see Minnesotans banding together to support our community after everything that's been done to us. And excuse me. So, of course, that pissed a bunch of people off.
Yeah.
And the shut up and dribble crowd showed up, which I did not know. I did not know that Greg Wrubell was in the shut up and dribble crowd.
Yeah.
I had
he
no
also
idea.
He also turned off the replies to that tweet as well. So,
well, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
That's probably smart. I would think. I mean,
but I only brought that up because of this Twitter thing with Marcus or whatever. Twitter is a wasteland about the Olympics.
It is, and it is very difficult. Where do you guys come down on the influence that athletes have? Because, like, I look at who's the biggest recent? Shaun White, probably the biggest snowboarding superstar ever. Turns out he's not the greatest human being if you go check the lawsuits. But Shaun White had, at his peak when he was dominating the X Games, the Olympics, he was essentially Carrot Top on a snowboard. Like, the guy was kicking ass. Is he supposed to sit up on his snowboard and say nothing about nothing? And this has always been the LeBron James argument. And again, yes, I freely admit I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, blah, blah, blah. He should do the exact opposite of shut up and dribble. Do you understand that most athletes, especially in athletes that are Latino, any brown skin athlete, a black athlete, a Latino athlete, you name it, they have a much larger platform in their communities than the president does. LeBron's got a much larger platform and is far more influential with people on the ground than Donald Trump is.
Yeah, and I think the obvious like hypocrisy in the shut up and dribble thing with the Olympics and any other sport is that it's okay for the president to go overseas and talk a bunch of junk about our country or like, this or that or whatever the hot topic of the day is. But as soon as someone who's not him speaks, then it's like, oh, we don't want to hear from you. And that to me, that's what's always bothered me. It's not even the like, I'm not even talking about the substance of dude's comments with the Olympian from Minnesota. Like he could have been on either side of the fence, but that's not the point. The point is that he has the right
to choose. Yeah.
He has the right to speak on it. And I think that I guess I was thinking about this morning before the show, and something that dawned on me about Greg's situation and other athletes we've seen who are in Provo or in the LDS community is the LDS community is very much based on the philosophy that as a group, we don't, there are unspoken rules as a group that we don't break. Right.
I would agree with that.
And I think that culturally as an LDS man, I would guess that Greg, largely feels that way about Olympians commenting on this because of that culture that he's immersed in every day. Like I imagine Greg Wrubell saying to himself, hey, like, why would you speak negatively about a situation involving our country when you're there representing your country?
Well, the LDS church and religion in general leans more conservative, right? I mean,
of course.
But we are getting into a place in our lives like this Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. The FBI did it again. They arrested somebody, said, hey, we've got a person of interest. This is it. Well, they released him. We get into this stuff where we want to bloviate and look what I did. And then when it goes wrong, well, are we going to promote the First Amendment, or are we going to start killing people for that? Because we already are trying to use the law and the threat of prosecution to keep people quiet. Mm-hmm. That's not who we are. Protect our First Amendment rights. Protect our Second Amendment rights, our right to bear arms, right? But all of a sudden, that's not convenient and it doesn't fit your narrative, so we're not allowed to speak freely anymore.
We're not allowed to carry at a protest.
Where did that come from, right? Like it is very difficult when sports and culture and politics slam into each other.
Yeah.
And again, Greg Wrubell, and I think most men of faith and most religions in general lean very conservatively. They lean very, very far to the right. And that appears to be where Greg Wrubell is. That's his right. I'm a big believer in the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. You are allowed to think, feel, and speak anything you want. Those words have consequences. Yeah, right? I mean, if we get into the politics of the voice of BYU athletics telling Olympians to shut up and dribble, that's probably not the best use of your platform, Greg.
My issue is, why did you go on Twitter and share this thought? Like, I don't really care that he appears to be conservative and pro Trump and all that. I don't really care about that. I'll be totally honest. What my issue was, why did you choose to go on Twitter and comment on that as the voice of BYU athletics? Because the reality is,
I agree.
You have a responsibility. And again, I want to keep saying, I like Greg. I think he does phenomenal work. He is very much enjoyable to listen to as a play-by-play guy. He just is. He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
And so my issue is not personal with him. I just thought there was a lot of, it just felt that like there was a lot of hypocrisy in many forms. Hey, Trump can go overseas and say stuff, but we as citizens can't, and we as Olympians can't. That was front and center. But I
very clearly.
But then it was like, well, hold on, Greg. If if you're of the LDS faith and you're so pro community and pro all the things that LDS pushes forward, why are we hating on someone for speaking truths about how they feel? That's not, last time I checked, that wasn't like, most LDS athletes will tell you that it's part of the community to talk about your struggles. You don't talk about it publicly, but privately you talk about it. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of poor form out of the voice of BYU athletics.
But
now,
I think it's because we've lost focus in this country. Everything is very blurry right now. And I will just continue to tell you, and I don't care if you're what athlete you are, you have a platform. You have a following. We talk to millions of people a month on this show. Millions of people a month watch our videos.
Globally.
It is irresponsible when you have that kind of platform. It is irresponsible not to speak up, not to call out the wrongs. And I think it is very difficult when we start telling people to shut up and dribble when they are the most powerful voices in the world. Can you imagine somebody like Lionel Messi talking about protecting First Amendment rights? Taylor Swift. Why do you think Taylor Swift is so reticent to talk about politics?
Yeah.
Well, one, it's bad for business. It is bad for record sales. There's no question about that. But number two, because what she says sways. Like, this is Oprah's favorite things. Remember all that bullshit where she would tell you to go buy now here's my Oprah's favorite condom, and sex was had by everybody wearing that condom, right? Like she just was selling stuff left and right. If Taylor Swift says Donald Trump is terrible for our country, vote for Jimmy Jack. Do you know how much sway Taylor Swift has? And I don't care if you agree or not. It is why she has been so careful to wade into the political pool.
And she has commented on it, but very, very small amounts and in very particular time and spaces.
And it's not something you see her doing all the time. She's not like Rage Against the Machine and Tom Morello. That's their brand, bro. Yeah. That's who they are.
Green Day at the Super Bowl.
Green Day at the Super Bowl. That's who Green Day is. That's not who Taylor Swift is. LeBron James, Michael Jordan was the same way. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Now, he's banging one of the Trump girls. So
Go play intramurals, brother.
I'm going to go ahead and say he's waded into the political pool, if you will. But Tiger Woods famously does not talk politics because it's bad for business. But here's the thing. We need people like LeBron and Tiger Woods, and we need the most influential people to talk about protecting the First Amendment, protecting the Second Amendment, protecting your right to express yourself in any way, shape, or form that you desire. That's the bedrock of American freedom. Well, at least until recently, where we've been arresting people and prosecuting people from all walks of life for things that they've said. Like, it's just not who we are, right? And we insult LeBron and we'll have Laura Ingraham tell him to shut up and dribble because he's talking about the president. It's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the wrong thing to do. I promise you, trying to squelch these Olympians and saying, if you don't like it, don't represent them. They would be irresponsible for not answering that question.
Yeah, I mean, isn't talking about it, representing the country in the very foundation of our country, like them talking about it exercises those rights and is like everything we stand for as a country, or at one point did. But
it's shit like this. La China. Okay, what does that have to do with the conversation? Why insult LeBron James? Because we're talking about his right to exercise his First Amendment rights. You probably don't want to answer that question. You definitely don't want to answer that question. And it's because You either don't like him you either just don't like him. You don't like him because he's black. You don't like him because he's rich and prominent and his profile doesn't make you comfortable. Like, I got bad news for you. He has every right. And frankly, it's his responsibility. You look at the way he handled himself at the Black Lives Matter parades and protests. What was the biggest criticism? Not that he was there. He was at the back of the parade on a bicycle with his face covered. Nobody knew who that was. You can't be LeBron James and be at the back. You need to be up front on the stage.
Yep.
But it's idiots like this who are like, oh, LaChina James. Like, do you understand what you're doing? You are trying to silence some of the most influential voices because you don't agree with them. That's not America. And that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem. And it's stuff like this. It is stuff like, for $2, Swift endorsed Kamala, celebrities do not matter. You're out of your mind and you're out of your depth. If you believe, I would disagree that Taylor Swift, and I'm going to look it up because I want to be careful. Taylor Swift did not come all out and be like, vote for Kamala. I need to find the picture of her cat thing, because didn't she post a picture on Instagram of like the cat lady thing?
Yeah, she posted something. I just can't remember what it was.
And I want to say that and I'm not going to be able to find it now, but whatever. She, like, the Trump campaign created a fake.
Yeah, there was an AI issue. There was an AI issue out of the Trump campaign.
Of her endorsing Donald Trump. And she used the Catwoman thing so she didn't full on endorse. Like, it is so sad to me that we get people who want to silence celebrities don't matter. Okay, well, tell me that if your true opinion is celebrities don't matter, you are lost in this world. You are lost in this world. If you think, and I just ask you, who has more influence with millennials, Donald Trump or Taylor Swift? Donald Trump, who has more influence in the Latino community today, this morning? Donald Trump or Bad Bunny? Because Bad Bunny is being roundly called a hero. And you don't have to like that he doesn't speak English or did a halftime show speaking Spanish. He's being roundly recognized as a hero in the Latino community. So you can say, if celebrities don't matter, then explain to me what all the uproar over the Super Bowl halftime show was. Because celebrities don't matter. Why was Donald Trump endlessly tweeting about Bad Bunny? Do you understand that he had, what was it, Jake, 120, 30 something million people?
I think it was, let me get the exact number.
120
it was
something million people,
bro. Yeah.
Watch him at halftime.
128.2 million people. And I want to preface this, between 8:15 Eastern and 8:30 Eastern. That was the number they measured in those 15 minutes.
You don't have to agree with them. I'm not even asking you to support Taylor Swift. But what you can't do is say celebrities don't matter and they should shut up. And then say you support the Constitution, because you don't. And you can't say shut up and dribble and then make the argument you support the Constitution. You can't say Olympians shouldn't sit up wearing an American Olympic uniform and they should not talk about huge issues, foundational issues happening in their community, and then tell me you care about the Constitution. Because this is who we are, right? I mean, this is who we used to be. This is who we used to be. You know, like it is.
Yes.
It just is, in my opinion, it's wrong.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like we've lost the desire to want the best for our neighbors and our communities, and and I think that it's. I mean, the ultimate irony is that Buddy the Olympian from Minnesota's comments, probably wouldn't be as big as they are had Fox not run with a whole hit piece on it, and had it not then gone viral on Twitter, and I think that I don't know, man. I just think that I don't know why it's so hard for a lot of us to say like, yeah, dude, like I don't like LeBron. Because I personally I don't like LeBron. I'm not a LeBron
I don't
guy.
like him at all.
I don't like in our vitriol for LeBron has gone up and down over the years. But I think he's an absolute attention seeker, dude. That's my issue with LeBron James. I think that you're more than happy to be at the back of the line on the bicycle thing, but you wanted to be the flag bearer, James, and be at the front for the Olympics. Like that's my issue with you. And so I can say that, but then also say like, yeah, dude, you're LeBron James though. Like you do need to be commenting. You do need to be talking about it when given the opportunity.
But Capazzo, this isn't, I didn't say you were a racist. I said there has to be a reason. If LeBron James is whatever you're saying, he hangs with commies because he's in business with Nike. Okay, well then so does Tiger Woods. So does Michael Jordan. So does every Nike athlete. Every Nike golfer. Scotty
Scheffler, like Rory McIlroy.
So you're telling me that Scotty Scheffler's a communist? Because nobody probably does more revenue for Nike right now in golf than Scotty Scheffler.
What do you say about Brooks Koepka?
Tony Finau, who's now the face of Jordan Brand Golf. These guys are all in business with commies. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't, you either didn't think through that comment or you have an ulterior motive as to why you don't like LeBron James. I'm not saying you're a racist.
And then let me point this out too, dude. Nobody called you a racist, but if you're going to sit here and criticize LeBron James for hanging with commies, what are you saying about Donald Trump then? Be accountable. Like, be accountable for the fact that you're.
I don't even know what your politics are. I truly
he's a Republican. He's pro-Trump. I know he is. We've talked to him about it before. He's made the argument on the show a million times. That, like, I know what it is. But my main point is, dude, it's not personal, but this is what James does to himself, which is what you've done to yourself this morning. You make your comments about LeBron, and you call him X, Y, and Z, and then it forces me to be like, well, hey, dude, if LeBron is that, then yeah, what is Scotty? What is Donald Trump? What is Brooks Koepka? Like, hell, what are all the Olympians? Like, what is every Nike athlete? So what, are we commies because I love Scotty Scheffler's shoe and I love Nike products? Like,
this is what we've done to ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you see what we've done to ourselves? We can't have logical conversations because, again, should LeBron be in business with Adidas? I mean, that's a foreign country. Should
what are you
LeBron
saying to anti-athletes?
It just does not make to go after LeBron as a communist because he's in business with Nike. It lacks foundation. It lacks understanding. It truly lacks understanding. And
the only other thing I would say, just really quick on this point, do you understand how much the relationship in our country with folks overseas matters to us? Like, do you understand how many people source product from overseas and sell that product to support their families?
Yeah, am I a communist? Because I buy all my product from my Amazon product is from China.
Like,
is Donald Trump a communist? Because all of his MAGA hats, all of his MAGA t-shirts, his MAGA shoes, all of anything that pretty much that he is, the MAGA watches, that's all from China. So is Donald Trump's a communist now? That's the argument here because, he hangs out. What did Capazzo say? I have to go back and find his comment, but
he hangs out with commies.
He hangs with commies. So Donald Trump is a communist.
Come on, bro.
It lacks foundation. It lacks understanding. And no, oh my God, no, she did not. Show me where Taylor Swift said, I am voting for Kamala Harris, you should too. Who is she? You're trying to make it like she's Kid Rock, only support. Like, come on, man. Like,
and by the way, let me point this out. So what? Okay, so you feel she endorsed Kamala. Great. What does that make her a bad person? Does that make
I would
her...
say that, in fact, I would hope. No, what his point was, she endorsed Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris lost election.
Okay.
That one has nothing to do with the other. One has nothing to do with the other, in my opinion. Swift did speak out even against her parents' wishes because they were afraid. Well, there's no question. And if somebody wants to go look it up, great. I'll try to find the Catwoman post that she put up because I remember it vividly. And she only, why did she do that? That's the thing that, yeah, Marcus sent it to me. Yes. I'll try and send this to my computer. She essentially, what she did was, and Marcus, the link to the New York Times is broken.
I got
it. Here it is. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. I was made aware that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. Like, so how did she end up with that post? Because the Trump campaign, according to Taylor Swift, created a false AI-generated graphic that showed her endorsing Donald Trump. Like, you can't go back and rewrite history, man. Taylor Swift's endorsement got hundreds of thousands of people to register to vote. Now, that is very true.
Agreed.
That is, and how many, and here's my point, how many celebrities use their, and it doesn't even matter. This is what we do to each other. We can't have logical, common sense-based conversations about the mixture of sports and politics because people take it so personally and you get so upset. So if you're a liberal, the conservatives are wrong. If you're a conservative, the liberals are. Why can't we just have an exchange of ideas? Because that's not what we do.
Nope.
It's not what we do. It's really unfortunate to me. Let's just be nice to each other, guys. What happened to still respecting others' different opinions? I think that's exactly my point. We have to be able to freely speak our opinions without using hate speech, without being like calling LeBron James a communist is just so utterly lacking in foundation. Like, it's just so utterly lacking in foundation. That's what is crazy to me. She also made an effort to get her fans to register to vote. She did. Correct. And she is allowed to endorse whoever she wants. You know, like it just is. But see, again, just be educated. But who's going to define educated? Speak your mind freely as you like. Your words have consequences. Would it be great if everybody was up on every single issue? Sure. There are no caveats. You have a platform, use it, right? Use it. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's disheartening to me that here we are in a really important time. I don't care what side of the line you're on. We are in a really important time. What happens over the next 18 months, and I don't even just mean the midterms, what happens on the ground in our cities, I live in Seattle. We're having a major Super Bowl event today. This city is going to be shut down. I worry about terrorism. I worry about crime. Right? Like what happens on the ground in this country over the next 18 months will determine the rest of our lives. And we want to sit here and call LeBron James a communist. That's the issue.
Yeah.
That is but we don't want to talk about Scotty Scheffler being a communist.
Well, because he's white and Christian, so that would be uncouth.
They're the same guy. They are the Jordan Spieth, Under Armour. Like, same dude.
Steph Curry.
Who's wearing Nikes now. Steph Curry, what a communist.
Well, he's worn every brand under the sun the last 6 months. Be careful, bro.
You got to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. Monty 2028, y'all, I'm telling you, I don't want that life. I don't want that life. She, like many other artists, had a problem with Trump using her music in political ads. Very true.
As they should have. Right.
This is real. When someone is having a suspected stroke, I'm no longer supposed to ask who the current president is when checking altered mental status on. Well, got to keep politics out of it. LeBron is such a communist that he's now worth $1 billion. Right? Like the whole, I understand that people love to glom on to the NBA, Daryl Morey, China, like sweatshops. Okay, then get rid of your Apple devices. Get rid of your electronic.
All of them. Your
How
MacBooks,
dare you?
Your phones, your watches.
How dare you have an Android phone? How dare you? You communist. Do you have any idea how much of the stuff that you depend on every day is of communist manufacturing? Like, come on, man. Come on. Let's just be better than that. Let's just be better than that. Right? Like, I don't care who you are or what you do. I'm sitting in front of hundreds of Air Jordans. I quite literally have a wall of Jordans right here in front of me. Hundreds of them. Oh, Monty, you're a communist. Okay. I hate when people use general terms like communist or Nazi. It really devalues the word. And what it does is it takes the significance out of the word. Right? If you think about, if you said to somebody in 1950, if you called them a Nazi.
Nazis.
Do you know how damaging that would be? To call somebody in 1950 a Nazi? Look at all the people who were thought to be communist sympathizers in this country. That's all it is. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Has anyone noticed there were some great sports on last night? There really wasn't.
No.
There really wasn't. You know what drives me crazy? Again, and I know I complained about this yesterday because I saw of you in the comment section. Peacock just does not. I hate the way we watch sports now.